Good day, my name is ZiQi Wang, and I am processing my analysis for BUSM-1094. Today, I will talk you through the findings based on the intelligence assessment of Iraq's WMD programs, offering insights into the likelihood of Iraq processing such capabilities. In the available evidence, I calculated the probability of Iraq processing WMDs at 85%. This probability reflects a combination of strong inequities and some assistant key points of evidence, such as Iraq's chemical weapons production and this biologic weapons program, were assigned high probability of 19%. Additionally, nuclear weapons reconstitution and attempts to acquire UAVs for biological agent delivery were also weighted heavily at 80 to 85%. One challenge in assigning this rating was balancing the unclarity in some price of intelligence, such as clinical weapons stock, stockpile 70%, where there was less concrete evidence. Similarly, the divergent view within the US intelligence community, like the State Department's INR assessment on nuclear weapons, created ambiguity. Despite these challenges, I awaited the more definitive indicators of clinical and biological weapons more heavily, leading to my overall uh, estimate of 84% for the probability that Iraq has some form of WMD or WMD program.
Doing the collaborative simulation exercise, we examined our personal probability estimates concerning Iraq's alleged possession of weapons of mass destruction. The negotiated group probability converged on 82%, marginally below my payroll estimate of 85%. The primary divergence derived from constructing interpretations of the evidence relating to Iraq's nuclear program, while I attribute a high likelihood to remains concerned nuclear aspirations. Several colleagues contend that the available data fell short of furnishing sufficient corroboration to justify that conclusions. Furthermore, the group elected to assign diminished probative force to certain intelligence finding characterized by greater anti-gravity, notably the alleged chemical weapons stockpile, and to direct greater analytical weight toward the more robust corroboration concerning chemical and biological agents. Although the individual probabilities differed, the group attained a coherent consensus through a collective appraisal of evidence, balance varied interpretive standpoints, and integrating more fragile indicators into unified probabilistic conclusion.
In developing my analysis of Iraq's pro process prospective weapons of mass destruction enterprises. I employed a functionless framework informed by principles of scientific management, which prioritize objective measurement and outcome-based assessments. I begin by assigning a discrete probability estimate to each intelligence fragment, calibrating it according to three criteria: clarity, source credibility, and inventory weight. I assigned a high ability rating to these disclosures concerning Iraq's chemical and biological weapons manufacture, reasoning that precision and widespread interagency cooperation rendered them robust. These findings were accorded greater significance in the cumulative probability in picking with the functionless imperative to elevate strong, actionable indicators. Subsequently, I just filled these rate indicators with distinct analysis, particularly the State Department's Bureau of Intelligence and Research distant concerning the nuclear program. This step enabled a disparate reconciliation of divergent data streams and the computation of probability that I regarded as robustly defended. The functionalist orientation thereby ensured that my judgment remained high on the most discrete and pertinent event, uh, event culminating in the judicialist articulate conclusion. The construction of my recommendation is from the strictly functionalist lens employed in the examination of Iraq's weapons of mass destruction programs. Although functionalism contributes clarity and a measure of objectivity to the analysis, in underestimate interpreted variability that saturates intelligence reading. This paradigm further postulates that all intelligence is amenable to quantification, a presumption that collapses when the confronted by incompetent, mutually exclusive or evolving strengths of elements as illustrated by the divergent nuclear capability system that emerged in the lead-up to 2003 invasions. To strengthen the analytical framework in cooperation, the interpretive technique might have a composite for limited of functionless, and interpretive strategy would direct attention to political and cultural undercurrents that shaped Iraq's choice regarding WMD. Dimensions that the functionalist focus on empirical data tend to obscure access to same structured interviews with Iraq defectors. Intercept analysis implies intra-elite discourse, or a scrutiny of rich sponsored narratives could have illuminated the symbolic as well as the technical dimensions of the program. Engaging With this solution comforted me with the faculty of knowledge claims in the intelligence domain. My probability ratings were evidence-driven, yet their relatability was compromised by contradictory reports and competing analytic perspectives. Interrogating an interpretive lens would have positioned me to interrogate those very factors, permitting a more textured reading of drug behavior attended to regimes, strategic, and identify driving imperatives. Still, the functionalist frame advanced a disciplined protocol for evidence evaluation and did generate probabilistic output. The interplay of the two paradigms thereby becomes salient, highlighting that probabilistic assumptions remain contingent and that policy choice bound of them may be exposed to unintended consequences. This exercise reformed the provisional characters of intelligence, knowledge, and the necessity for analytic humility in the face of incomplete and contest in information. And the last page is my reference. And thank you for your attention. Thank you.